No, 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 no.
All right. Matthew McConaughey. Oh, what's up? What is going on? Been a hell of a week. Got FknBucky, greatest podcast in the world, coming at you. Another episode. Another minutes of time, bringing up opinions, talking about things, hopefully sparking some thought in your brain, giving you something to talk about, giving you something to think about on your drive, whether you're going to work, going home from work, driving somewhere for fun, whatever you're doing. Just get the fuck out of the left lane and let the guy by, all right? It's the most important thing. Got Hayden over here on my left. We try to keep him as quiet as possible, so don't mind him for not talking. Every time he does, I tell him to shut up, and it's for a good reason. Hayden, say hello to the folks. That's why we don't let him talk. Can't even say hello right. Fuck that up, didn't you? I know, I caught you off guard. Next time I'll give you a little bit more of a warning. So, lots of stuff in the news. Obviously, the election, huge news. We did the podcast, we talked about that. There's something in the news that happened right before the election. It actually really bothered me, and I wanted to bring it up on the last podcast, but I don't think I did. I wanted to talk about Peanut.
Peanut the squirrel?
Peanut the squirrel.
Yeah.
Fred the raccoon.
It's actually not a laughing matter.
No, it actually really pisses me off.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah.
And if you're not mad about it, you should be. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason is because the government came into this man's home, took his pet squirrel, whom he raised from a little baby squirrel when he found it, and made a lot of internet videos with this little squirrel. I'd never heard of him before, but he was obviously very famous. And they came in and they murdered this little squirrel. They murdered it. The government came into his home, private residence, and murdered a squirrel. That was his lifelong pet.
And his raccoon.
And the raccoon. Fred the raccoon had to go as well. And they said that the raccoon or the squirrel bit one of the 15 cops or whatever it was that I'm sure went in full freaking armor to get the squirrel, whom did nothing wrong to anyone. It was one person that called 5 separate times to complain about it, which wherever that person is, I hope you're fucking happy. You got a squirrel and a raccoon murdered for no reason. So, wow, you're really doing the world a justice. I swear to God, I hope someone finds out who you are. We post your picture on the internet and people come to your house and burn you down. I don't mean that like literally, but really I do. So, I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get why this squirrel was such a threat to national security that we had to waste money on this. We literally paid people, multiple people, to make this decision, use fuel to drive out there, attack a squirrel, throw him in a little cage, take him somewhere with his buddy Fred the raccoon, and then killed them. How is the world better because of this? Like, what is the point? Did not one of these people stop and think, hey, maybe this is a fucking stupid idea? Like, maybe we shouldn't do this. And the bigger thing is it happens every single day. It happens to all kinds of people across the United States, and they have no voice. They have no, they have nothing they can do about it because no one cares. And so, but because this squirrel, Peanut the squirrel, was famous, now he's got a voice. Now there's people like, wait a minute, why did this happen? What happened here? But it's crazy. And the government came out and said they killed him because they were worried about the rabies. But there's actually emails and there's been documents stating that they were talking about the squirrel having rabies 5 days before they went out there. So that means that their first story that they came out with was bullshit. And they lied. And you know why they lied? Is because they realized they went out, they did a horrible thing, and they don't want to be held accountable for it. So what do? They lie about why they went. They lie about what happened. And in their mind, everything's good because you can't do shit about it. You're just a stupid citizen. And so the problem is that the stupid citizen that they screwed over happens to be somebody that's internet famous and has a voice and has a way to get his story out there. And they murdered a little tiny squirrel that wears a freaking cowboy hat. I mean, if they're going to kill this one, I mean, where's that little bastard that water skis, right? Let's kill that son of a gun too. Stupid water skiing squirrel. Probably communist. I mean, everybody knows communists are skiers. Hayden, you know what the worst part about being a skier?
What?
Telling your parents you're gay. Snowboarder die, bruh. But I mean, think about it. I mean, so everybody else that has a pet that's not on conventional terms, you know what? We got to go murder your pets too, because otherwise it's not fair. Why is this guy pet got to die, right? We got a pot-bellied pig. That's weird. We're going to come kill that. You know, hairless cat. Got to go. Where is the line? And you know what's messed up is that the people that don't care about this are the ones that cry the hardest when something happens to them. You know? And if you sit back and you don't say anything and you don't get in the fight, or you don't take offense to when something as outrageous as this happens, then you don't have a reason to say anything when it comes up and it happens to you. You don't have a leg to stand on, if you will. And it might seem silly. Oh, it's just a squirrel. Who cares? It's not just a squirrel. It's the fact that the fucking government in the United States of America rammed into this dude's house, took his freaking kid, his little pet squirrel, and killed it for no reason. Like, that's a big deal. And you let him get away with something like that. And then if they come out and just said, we effed up. We thought it was X. It ended up being Y. We're sorry, right? Doesn't change the fact of what they did was wrong. But at least they hold some accountability. And with accountability means there can be progress. When people screw up and they've refused to admit that they screwed up, it just makes it a bigger issue than it had to be. All you got to do is say, I effed up, and then you move on. I learned from it. But when you lie about it, it means you knew you screwed up. You knew it was wrong in the first place. You did it anyways, and now you just want to lie about it and get away with it, which means that you'll just do it again. So, you know what? I'm sorry, New York. You get what you pay for sometimes, and you get what you get. And you guys have been very liberal. You love government. You want more and more and more of it. So this is what you get. You got lots of government. And they got time on their hands, apparently. So they're going to come out and murder your freaking squirrel. You know? If it was a turtle, we wouldn't even have this conversation. Fuck turtles. But squirrels are cool, man. I don't care. I just think that it was horribly. I just think it's horrible what they did. I mean, just horrible. And for what? For what? How is the world better? Like what was accomplished in any which way at all? And for anybody that says, "Oh, the squirrel attacked him," well, you know what? I mean, it's a squirrel and it's in somebody's home. So when some stranger comes running in and starts grabbing on you, you might bite and scratch a little bit too. So. I mean, you come kick my door in and try to take me somewhere, you better believe there's going to be a fight on your fucking hands. So that's what I'm saying.
I don't understand. Why do they have to kill him? Why couldn't they just let him back in the wild? You know, like it was bad that they took him in the first place, but just killing
Well, said
him
he had
was-
rabies. You can't test for rabies unless you kill.
Oh, okay.
The only way to find out if an animal has rabies is to kill it.
Oh. Dang. So a lot of innocent animals probably have died from that.
A good chance. You know, which I think, is that true? I mean, we can test humans for rabies and we don't have to kill them.
Right.
Should Google that. I don't know why I believe that to be the case. I could be wrong. But I don't think you can. I think you have to be euthanized to figure out if they have rabies, and I'm sure they figure it out in humans in some way. Maybe the test is too expensive. I don't know, but I think that is. I don't know. I think if anything, I think we can all agree that that was a BS event. That more government does not mean better, and be careful who you vote into office because there's what's the word I'm looking for? Repercussions to everything that we do, and yep, I was right. There you go. No testing that can accurately diagnose rabies in a living animal. I don't know how we figure it out in humans then. I got a few humans I'd like to have tested for rabies.
You could tell if they're foaming.
I wonder if I could freaking make a list. Hayden, you'd be right at the top. Pretty sure you got rabies. So did you see that? Speaking of rabies, did you see that Oprah got $1 million speaking fee for President Trump? Or for to do that interview with Kamala? $1 million to go out and call Trump Hitler.
Beyonce got 10 million.
No. Did you really?
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy. I wonder how much Cardi B got to give that crap ass speech that she gave. That was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Reading from a phone. Like, she told me backstage that she was going to stop people from price gauging. She's told me to my face. She better not lie to my face. Or what? What are you going to do? Nothing. Because they lie to your face every single day. Bunch of dumbasses.
Eminem got 8 million.
Not surprised. I mean, that's just insane to me. I don't think that woman went through $1 billion and still had debt at the end of the campaign. And I believe President Trump paid or offered to pay the left of the money that was left over that they still owe. I mean, $1 billion, and they wanted to be in charge of our budget, and they can't even run their budget of what? They can't even run their own campaign budget, and they want to be in charge of everything. Like, get out of here with that crap, man. Thank goodness we kept those out. Look at that, $5 million, Megan the Stallion, $3 million to Lizzo, $1.8 million for Eminem. 6 figures to appear on the Call Her Daddy podcast. I mean, come on. So there you go. These are all these celebrities that come up and tell you how important it is for you to vote this way and that way. If it's so true, then why would you need money to be there?
Here it is.
Why would you?
10 million to Beyonce.
So, I mean, it's just good. They deserve what they get.
Dude, do you think Oprah's pissed that Beyonce got 10 million and she only got 1?
Who knows? Who cares? Oprah's a liar. Oprah sucks. I think she's involved deeper with the P. Diddy stuff than anybody knows. I don't know if I'm not going to say she's like a sexual deviant. Who knows? Maybe she is, but I know I've talked about this in the other one when we talked about P. Diddy, but she's definitely been somebody that is behind the scenes, has done more to keep small name actors and actresses down, especially black, up and coming black actors and actresses down if they don't get on the Oprah wagon. I mean, if they don't come pay homage to the almighty Queen Oprah, she doesn't put their name on the nice list. In fact, she's gone out of her way to screw people's careers for not agreeing with her 100%. So Oprah Winfrey is by no means some sort of a saint. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding that woman as well. And you know what? Hats off to her. She made a great career. She built herself up. Hey, you go. You know, I'm not taking away from that, but I'm also not going to sit back and say that she's some perfect person. So, F Oprah. That's what I'm actually saying. I don't care. So the nominations that Trump made, Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, that's really got some people up in arms, which I don't know. I'm very curious to see how that works out. And he has said some controversial things throughout the years, but I will say this, is that guy is not beholden to anybody. I've seen some of the interviews that he's done on TV, some of the things that he's said, and he just lays it out there, dude. He's not going to be pushed around, and it's extremely clear that our Department of Justice, the FBI, they need an overhaul. I mean, the things that happened to President Trump and his family, it should never happen to any American citizen. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. And I think they're going to get to the bottom of it. I think there was some obvious collusion that happened between different parties to make some of those charges happen. And, you know, as much as you hate Donald Trump, I'm sorry, fine, you hate him. But that doesn't mean that the government gets to just go after him and make up crimes and find a way to derail his potential political career. I mean, this is fucking America, dude. You're free to say whatever you want to. We have freedom of the press. We have freedom of speech in this country for a reason. So every time they turn around and scream that they can't do this and you can't do that, that's just more that they want to take away from you. Look what they did during COVID. I mean, all of this stuff needs to come out. I can't wait for this stuff to come out. But the way that they shot down anybody that said anything about COVID, oh, you can't say that it came from the lab in Wuhan, even though that's where the F it came from, right? Remember all that? People that were on TV. Look what they did to Joe Rogan, talking about ivermectin, the drug that helps the symptoms of COVID. And, you know, the people on TV skewered them. As Hayden would say, they feathered and then they tarred them.
It was a public mocking.
I mean, it was a public freaking execution of anybody that didn't agree with them.
Right. See, because like back in the day,
the whole thing, I didn't ask you to talk. Shut up. The whole thing. I mean, remember people that didn't wear their mask. Remember that? They were freaking arrested. They were put on YouTube videos for not having a mask on in fucking Costco.
we're Costco guys.
You know?
Yeah.
We're Costco guys. That's the stupidest videos I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that you spend hours of your life watching it just tells me how unintelligent you truly are. All right, what point were you going to make that's going to probably piss me off and I'm going to regret asking me?
Chicken bake or double chocolate cookie?
What does it have to do with anything? That's what you were going to say?
Oh, what I was talking about before? Okay, so, yeah, because public mockings back in the day, you'd be feathered and tarred, right? Or tarred and feathered. Or you'd be hung, right? It was almost kind of a public event. Like, kids would be excited. Oh, there's a hanging today. Because it was a form of entertainment. Because you'd be hanging a pirate, a villain, or whatever. But nowadays, you obviously can't do that. So it's more of like what you were saying. It's like you shame somebody on the internet where that's the new public mocking. And people like to see it. They're like, yeah, that person's getting, like, I'm going to jump on the pile because.
Of course, because they're a bunch of crap bags, dude.
Yeah.
They can't do anything for themselves, so all they want to do is rip someone else down. And certainly anybody that disagrees with them. I mean, this whole thing with the how far the left has gone to the left on everything. I don't know. Did you see that AOC took off her pronouns from her Twitter profile?
Wish you'd take off her shirt.
Yeah, that would be awful.
No, I did see that. That's crazy.
Nothing about her is hot. I can't even imagine you would want her to see without a shirt.
She's not even really she's more socialist, right?
She's just a annoying, weird pitch voice that
I would have coffee with.
I would love to just cut her head off and punt it down a big hill. And then like plop as it plops into like a lake or something. Floats around for a little while. Chick's annoying. But for someone like her, who raged on everybody else that you have to get on board and you gotta use these pronouns and blah, 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 blah. But it lost, and it lost in a big way in this election. People are tired of being called horrible for not understanding the pronouns. Like, it's so stupid. So if I call a he, even though he wants to be a she, I'm suddenly a horrible freaking person because I didn't know that. Well, it's too bad. The rest of the world, I don't know, man. How do I phrase this without pissing off a whole bunch of people? I don't think I can. I think the simple fact is that there's a lot of really good people out there that are tired of the bullshit and don't want to be called a bad person just because they don't want to play by your stupid game. You can't make up games. You can't make up rules along the way and then call a bunch of people racist, misogynistic, blah, 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 because they don't understand the rules of the game that you're fucking making up. There you go. That's how I feel about it. So that message lost in a big way. I think common sense people aren't buying into it anymore. They're not going to feel guilty for getting up in the morning and going to work, earning an honest living, taking care of their families. You know, a lot of these people are good small town people that volunteer in the fire department or the ambulance. They help out at the schools. I mean, there's nothing wrong with these people. And yet you want to demonize them for no good reason whatsoever. And that hopefully is over. I don't give a shit what you want to be. You can be a he, you can be a she, you can be an it. You can cut off your cock, you can grow one, sew one on, whatever they do with all the surgeries. Knock yourself out. Enjoy you. Two things, though. One, don't call me a horrible person if I don't understand it all, because you know what? I'm never going to. There you go. I don't get it. I wasn't born with a secret identity inside of myself. My heart breaks for you if you have to go through that, and it's a mental thing. If you feel better, again, it's between you and your doctor and whatever, okay? But the other thing that I will say is we're not letting you do it to fucking children, okay? Just because a child comes to you at age 8 and says, I think I want to be a little boy. Well, that doesn't mean you get to start giving them hormone transplants and cut their knockers off. And I'm not going to change my opinion about that. Said James child at 18 decides they want to rock and roll and they want to continue down that path. Hey, knock yourself out. You're an adult. Do what you want to do. But when you're under the age of 18, there's a reason why we don't let you make decisions. There's a reason why we don't let you drink. There's a reason why we don't let you buy tobacco. There's a reason why we don't let you have adult relationships with adults, because you're a fucking child and you shouldn't be allowed to make decisions that are going to have lifelong repercussions. And they act like that anybody that voted for Trump wants to just go out and murder trans people. Couldn't be further from the truth. People don't care. I'm telling you, we don't care. I'm not saying I don't care that you got hardships in life, but guess what? Everybody does. So do I. Where's my parade? You know? I've been paralyzed for 24 years. Ain't nobody throwing me a fucking parade.
They probably have disabled
I get up
people
and work.
parades.
I go, you know?
That's
So what are you going to do? Live your life. Be you.
That'd be so tight.
But why you like... And prisoners like that need a sex change. Are you kidding me? We got millions of people that are homeless in this country, and we're gonna spend tens of thousands of dollars cutting the wee off of freaking inmate 6785449. Fuck that guy. Sorry, but you're just gonna have to keep your fucking wang a little bit longer because it ain't happening, and nobody needs that. I'm not going to a disabled pride parade.
They have them in New York.
Oh, I thought it meant like a gay pride, but disabled people. Oh, it's a disability pride. I don't know how I feel about that either.
You'd be a good time there.
Look, I just don't think that the disability makes the person. I think the person is the person.
Right. Yeah, of course.
So, and having extra challenge is difficult in life, man.
So you think it's like that too with like sexuality and all these other things? Like that's not the defining factor, right?
Of course it's not. The defining factor is your character.
Right.
That's what people are. You are who your character is. When everybody's gone and the person that you are when you're alone, that is who you are as a character person. That's how I judge a man, a woman, or whatever you want to be called, is on their character. If you see somebody drop $100 in the store, falls out of their pocket and you're behind them, and you can easily just walk up and grab that $100 bill and put it in your pocket, do you give it back to them or do you keep it? That's character. The person that keeps it, fuck that person. I ain't got no time for you. Sooner or later, I will find out. You may be able to trick me for a while that you have good character and you might be able to be in my circle, but sooner or later, it'll come out. If you have bad character and you're the type of person that would keep that money, then that same character traits will come out in your everyday life and the people around you will see it. And what happens is those people, instead of admitting that they have a character flaw and that they got issues as a person, they want to point the finger and say, no, you hate me because I am this, or you hate me because I'm that. I don't give a fuck who you want to sleep with. It has nothing to do with that. You have crappy character. You're a bad person. It doesn't matter what type of person you want to sleep with, unless it's children. That makes you a really bad person and then we should kill you. But and instead of focusing on that, we've allowed the media, we've allowed these people that have a big fat voice, as annoying as it is, AOC. God, her voice just cuts in like needles.
So hot.
I'd rather get punched in the face by Mike Tyson tonight than listen to that broad for 7 seconds. That's how much I hate her. So, but what they've done, and successfully up until this election, is they've been able to push character to the side and make it a non-issue. And now it's only, you have to love and you have to accept people based on simply who they want to sleep with. Because if you don't, then you're a horrible person. And that's messed up. And what they do to these kids is it's worse, and it's so much deeper. I mean, they find these kids that are somewhere, and you know, little Timmy wants to become Tammy. Well, they swoop in, they give all this attention to these children. Oh, you're so brave and you're so strong and blah, 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 blah. You go, little Timmy. And they give them all the support and all this stuff and all this attention. Well, 3 years down the road, little Timmy says, hey, you know what? I decide I want to be an astronaut instead of being a woman. They all disappear. They don't care about little Timmy anymore. They don't care about all the hormones that they pumped in him and messed up his body for life. You know, little Timmy, now that he doesn't want to be a Tammy, is no longer relevant in their world. And they could care less. In fact, they hate him because he's no longer the poster child for what they want. Think about that for a second. The moment he decides that he doesn't want to be what they want him to be, they leave. They walk out the door. That's character. That's a lack of character, I should say. True character would be there for that child, regardless of the decision that they make. And say, we still love you. We still support you, you know, regardless of what you want. But that's not what happens. He changed his pronouns, and now they don't have any use for him, so they leave. And they don't care about the freaking wreckage that they cause along the way, as long as they can push their agenda a little bit further. And so they go out and they find these people. They use them up as much as they possibly can. And then when they don't have any more use for them, they kick them to the curb. And whatever wreckage behind, be damned. They don't care. You don't see them. Just like not picking up after their freaking rally, dude. You know? Instead of a Lay's potato chip bag, it's just a little kid named Timmy that they left laying there. And I don't know. I, for one, I'm not buying into it. I'm not rocking with it. So you can say whatever you want about it. I'd love to hear some comments, whether you agree or disagree on that particular point. Maybe we'll make that a short video in some way. But speaking of kids, Richard Allen, guilty.
Oh, really?
All counts.
Wow.
Guilty as charged. If you did not listen to the last podcast, one, you should have. Two, I brought up the new Delphi. I think I said Delhi in my last thing, is because there is a town in Iowa called Delhi. So my bad. Delphi, I do believe it is pronounced. But the two young ladies, Liberty German and Abby Williams, 13 and 14, I believe, were murdered. And one of the young ladies was able to get some Snapchat videos of a gentleman that was following them, and essentially are the ones that solved their own murder with that evidence. And what's quite amazing to me is we watch these TV shows. What's the one, the Profilers, Criminal Minds? You ever seen that show?
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Really is a good show. Creepy. Some creepy people out there, man. But they do the profile about who they think committed this crime by looking at the crime scene, and they can tell. They can tell if it was somebody that's done it before because of how clean it is and how methodical, like people that are used to doing it or do it often or have done it before are better at it. People that haven't or do it spontaneous are sloppy. And it's just fascinating to me how brilliant some of these people are and how right they can be. And they were spot on with this guy, man. I mean, when they came out, they said it was very well, it's most likely somebody that's in this community, which is scary because when you think about such a horrific crime happening, and it took 7 years to find the bastard, but it was the guy that was working at the local CVS store. He filled a photo order for the mother of one of the victims, and he was the guy. I mean, it's just, how do you, I don't know. Special place in hell for that guy. I think it's horrible, horrible, horrible. I'm thankful that he got guilty. I think they counted 61 confessions.
This article is saying Odinism?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Okay.
So that's what it is. It's stupid. One of the girls leaned up against a tree with her bloody hand, and they're claiming that the blood mark on the tree is a symbol from pagan Norse religion that supposedly is white supremacist. So there was some ritualistic murder. But let's go ahead and use that common sense thing again. What's more likely? A dirtbag walking around on a trail after being drunk at his mom's house, comes across two little girls and decides to sexually assault them, or a group of freaking white supremacists or just happen to be out on a trail walking around looking to do a ritualistic murder at 3:00 in the afternoon. Both are bad, I suppose, but one's not real. I'm sure someone would have noticed a group of white supremacists walking around. Just saying. But I'm glad that Richard Allen is guilty. I'm glad that he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. And there's no way, I hate the word closure when it comes to crimes like this, because what closure is this? I mean, two little girls were murdered, their entire lives taken away. And for what? For what? You know, there's just no amount of torture and cruelty that we could inflict on this Richard Allen that would ever bring those girls back. And unfortunately, it will happen again. And I'm just glad that technology is there. You know, those girls were able to solve their own murders. And, you know, the only thing worse than these crimes happening in the first place is that no one being held accountable for them. And these people that prey on children are just, they're sick, they're deranged, and we just need them out completely. So, this is the other thing. Speaking of people out, I want people out, maybe out of the gene pool. The colleges, Harvard, Yale, some of these places that had the special safe places for people to go after the Trump election victory. You see that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's because you're over there playing on your phone. Oh, whatever text message you sent is important, dude. Don't worry about it. We're just recording a podcast. I'll do all the work. You just sit over there, play on your little tallywhacker. It's okay. Don't worry. One of us has to be the go-getter around here. Ask you
What
a
are you
question.
talking?
You didn't see it? What am I talking about?
Let me guess.
I'm talking
You're
about
talking
what I
about
asked
Trump
you
again.
about.
You're talking about Trump again. Let me guess.
I asked you a question. What's the answer? You don't know the answer because you weren't listening to the fucking question.
I guess you're talking about Trump.
Talking about the safe rooms that they put in Harvard because the college kids couldn't handle that Trump won the victory. So they gave these kids milk and cookies and little happy safe spots for them to go and mourn. So if these are the people that are going to be the future leaders of this freaking country, we're screwed. I mean, they should have been like, come on in here. We have a nice little safe place for you. Come on in. Everything will be okay. We should have locked them in that room and just left them in there. They should still be locked inside there. Just don't let them out. Self-care suites for coddled students, complete with milk and cookies and coloring books. Are you kidding me? Milk and cookies and coloring books for adults. Adults. These same people that can't handle that their person didn't win an election are the same age as people that we shove a gun in their hand and send them over to in harm's way.
They were playing Legos too.
I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Sometimes things don't go your way in life. And you got to learn that shit. And the problem is that they don't teach them to them when they're little kids. They just coddle them. Little Bobby can't have a bad day. Yeah, little Bobby better wake up because the world is an asshole. And that's what it is. I mean, I just don't understand like what they are doing. a safe spot with milk and cookies and Legos because you didn't get your way?
They said if you're emotionally distressed, you didn't even have to come to school.
Yeah. Skip school. Can you imagine a construction worker calling in? The Kamala didn't win, so I can't come in, Bob. I'm really having a tough day. I'm going to stay home and play with some Legos and eat some cookies. Well, that's great, Dick. Enjoy that. And by the way, you're fucking fired. Never come back to work. Everybody hates you, and you're a pussy. I mean, it's insanity. It's insanity. And it shouldn't even really be laughed at. To be honest, it's more sad than funny. It's just these people are paying tens of thousands of dollars to go to these schools. And this is how they're preparing them for life. This is an acceptable behavior. I'm sorry. You want to know what tough times are? Being a single mom with 3 kids to feed. You don't get to cry that the election didn't go your way. You got to get your ass up in the morning at 4 a.m., get down to the diner, wait tables all day, on your feet, carrying heavy fucking plates. That's a hard day. Give that person a day off. Send the college kid over to do their job for a frickin' shift. And let that mom have a little break. No taxes on tips sounds pretty frickin' good to her. I bet she wasn't too mad that Trump won the election. And he'll actually do it. Having a hard day. Fuck you. You don't even know what a hard day is living in frickin' Harvard. I'm sure there's maybe some that do, but come on. Hayden was a victim of a hate crime. Someone stole his vape because
I'll talk about that. Yeah. No, yeah. So, what was it? Oh, yeah. I was working, of course. And I was taking the trashes out for my job. And the trashes are down the road.
Shut up. It's called trash, not trashes.
Oh, that's right.
I told you that the other day, but you're stupid. You don't listen.
But I had more than one trash bag. So I was taking the trashes out, right?
It's just trash.
Oh, right. Because it's plural. When you say, yeah. Because you can say, I got a lot of trash. But anyways, I was taking a lot of trash. I was taking the trash down, and a gentleman started flailing his arms in the air across the street. He was like, hey, my boy just stole my Ferrari. Hey, and he runs across the street. I'm trying to avoid him kind of, but he sees me, and he comes up to me, and he's like, yo, my boy just stole my Ferrari.
Was it hard to run with all the trashes in your hands?
Yeah, good, because I was
many trashes.
I was balked up with trashes, dude. And he was like, yeah, dude, my boy just stole my fucking Ferrari. I could tell he was off the hinges. He was like, hey, I saw you ripping that vape. Can I rip that? And I could just tell he set up that whole story. He saw me ripping the vape, and he set up that whole story just to ask so he can rip my vape. And I could tell this guy was just weird. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, whatever. Take a quick rip. He took it from me. He looked me in the eyes, smiled, and then dipped. He just sprinted, and stole my vape. I was like, oh, man. I could have tried throwing the trash at him, but that would have been sick. If I were able to.
The best part of the story is that guy has herpes now. He doesn't even realize that you gave him the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, man. There's lessons to be learned here. 1, learn to say trash instead of trashes, because, my gosh, don't give your vape to random people on the street. I don't know. If you don't actually have herpes right now, you're probably lucky, because that guy might have had it, and if he gave it back to you, you could be walking around with a big frickin' blown up on your lip. Check my list, make sure I got through everything here. Hayden has herpes. Peanut the squirrel. Matt Gates. Richard Allen's an asshole. I do want to end on this. This is a thought. Trump said something in his acceptance speech or his victory speech, and he said that success breeds unity. And I think it's a very intelligent statement, and I think it's a very true one. So for all of you out there that are just losing your minds, you're probably not listening to this podcast. If you hate Trump that much, you probably don't want to hear me. But even some of you that might be on the fence, just take a deep breath and relax. We've had the same people in the same positions that their parents had, and we had this guy in there, and then the new administration comes in, and they put the same fucking people in the same places. And it might be a different face, but it's the same attitude. It's the same bureaucratic, blah, blah, blah. So you know what? Trump's coming in, and he's putting people in that have promised to shake things up. They've made promises in the past, and they've kept them to get to the bottom of shady characters. I mean, if there's people that are in positions in these places that have done things that are not on the up and up, they have committed to finding them and to getting them out. And that should make everyone happy, because where there's corruption, it gets
dicey.
What?
It gets dicey.
There you go. Good job with the English word. Yep. But corruption, it breeds more corruption. And when you allow the people, like the ones that went in and killed Peanut, when you allow them to lie about... Stop, Annie. Stop. When you allow them to get away with it, and you allow them to breed a story that is false, and they get away with it, they're just going to do it again, and they're going to do it again. And that's what's happened for a long time, in my opinion. You may disagree. Maybe you think government is perfect and they've never done anything wrong, and all these places are just fantastic. But we all know that's not true. So I truly hope that the people that Trump is picking go in and do the jobs they've promised to do, and that they've promised him that they will do. And, you know, if there is a mistake, if there's somebody that gets in, they can't handle it, get them out quick. Don't be afraid to admit you made a mistake and move on. But give them a chance. And I truly believe that success will breed unity, and it will bring us all together. And more common sense folks are going to be like, hey, we don't have to spend billions of dollars on a crap war in Ukraine. We could just end the war. We could spend those billions of dollars here at home, taking care of our own people. How about that? And we don't have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on bureaucracies in Washington, D.C. that don't actually do anything to make anybody's lives better. We can get rid of this shit, and nothing's going to crumble. So the people that have these positions of power and have been unrooted, and they've got this corruption, and they've covered it up for years and years and years, and have gotten away with it. They don't want that, as what did Cat Williams say? The darkness to come to light. They don't want to be found out. They don't want you to know what they've been doing.
That was Jesus who said that.
Shut up. They don't want to be caught. And they're deathly afraid that's what is going to happen, is that these new people are going to come in, and they're going to say, wait a second, this is wrong. This is wrong. And they're going to figure it out. And when they do, you're going to know about it.
All right, folks, that was an episode of FknBucky. Thank you very much for listening. We out.
That's not, well, no.
Peace.
No.
It's breeding season.
No.
Unity is now. Let's come together.
You're making a fucking porno?
That was a good outro, man.
There's nothing good about it. Goosebumps. I'm gonna have to put a towel or something over that mirror so I don't have to look at your stupid face. So before I was so rudely interrupted, my Captain Trash is over here. was in the middle of making a very strong point. Just kidding. No, I wasn't. Was that funny?
No, you go ahead. The floor is yours.
Is it?
It is. You have my permission.
Doesn't really feel like it. I should just
I won't laugh
let
at
it
you.
be.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your
Yeah.
feelings. I won't laugh at you. I'm not gonna laugh.
Why are you laughing at me?
I'm
Am I fucking funny?
laughing with you, dude.
I wasn't laughing. I'm hating. You go get your vape stolen, pussy. I don't even know where I was at.
Thought it was a really big, important point.
I guess it wasn't that important at all.
I guess not.
So fuck it.
So you're welcome, folks.
FknBucky, I'm out.